Welcome to Corvette Today, the show that talks about everything Corvette, with your host, Steve Garrett, lifetime member of the National Corvette Museum, president of the Corvette Club of Kansas City, Missouri, and radio disc jockey at the #1 radio station in Kansas City for over 45 years. Here's Steve Garrett.
Thanks for listening and watching Corvette Today, the show that talks about everything Corvette, and the only current podcast dedicated to Corvette. I'm your host, Steve Garrett. I appreciate you tuning in. Corvette Today is brought to you by Wheelcraft. Want to dress up your Corvette with bright chrome or black chrome wheels? Visit wheelcraft.com and learn about their advanced PVD chrome finishing. They can refinish your wheels or offer a wheel exchange for most models, and it comes with a 5-year warranty. Visit wheelcraft.com today or call them at 833-840-5334. You can listen to Corvette Today on all podcast platforms. You can also listen on your smart device. Just say, "Hey Google," or "Alexa, play the podcast called Corvette Today," and you're connected. And be sure to visit the Corvette Today website. It's CorvetteToday.com. You can access everything there, including the Corvette Today merchandise store. You can also join our Corvette Today Facebook group there as well. Also, make sure you sign up for the Corvette Today emails, notifications, and updates at CorvetteToday.ck.page. And be sure to subscribe to our Corvette Today YouTube channel. See all Corvette Today episodes on YouTube as well. And be sure to patronize our flagship sponsors of Corvette Today, MidEngineCorvetteForum.com, the forum that focuses on the new mid-engine C8 Corvette. Meet a lot of fellow Corvette enthusiasts like yourself at MidEngineCorvetteForum.com. Soul Performance Products, developed and manufactured in the United States, the Soul Performance Products exhaust portfolio has been tailored to elevate the experience of the world's most exciting sports cars, including the latest generation of the Corvette. Soul Performance Products at SOULPP.com, the official performance exhaust of Corvette Today. Aerolarri Wheels, a true forged wheel with over 20 unique styles to choose from for your C8 and wide-body versions of the C7, C6, and C5 Corvette. It's an amazing value, starting at only $23.88 for a set of 4 fully forged wheels. And use the promo code CT111 and get $100 off your purchase. Visit aerolarri.com. Ciocca Corvettes. If you're a Corvette enthusiast, and I know you are since you're listening and watching Corvette Today, then you need to know about Ciocca Corvette. They're based in Atlantic City, where you can find over 100 new and pre-owned vets on the lot and inbound. Ciocca also ships Corvettes all over the country, custom ordered to your specifications. They're staffed with experienced pros who can answer all your questions. So don't compromise. Visit CioccaCorvette.com. That's CIOCCA Corvette.com and find out more. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. E5 Wheels. E5 Wheels is a passionate and dedicated wheel company that serves only Corvette. They make spun-forged wheels for your C8, C7, and C6 Corvette. With the best fitment in the industry, E5 Wheels ensures your wheels complement the aesthetics and functionality while optimizing the performance of your Corvette. Visit e5wheels.com or call them at 305-964-7429. C8 owners, tired of pesky water spots on your engine bay after a wash? So is Amora, the C8 Corvette lady. That's why she created C8 Dry Bay Vent Blocks. These American-made blocks are designed to keep your engine bay dry while you wash your C8. You get 7 blocks, enough to cover all 6 vent wells on your coupe and the rear window strip. Stop scrubbing those spots and get yours with free shipping at c8blocks.com. Veterans and first responders enjoy a $15 discount. Also available at Paragon Performance and West Coast Corvette. Call 317-457-0594 or go to c8blocks.com. And a shout out to Corvette Forum, welcoming Corvette enthusiasts from around the world. My very special guest on today's show is a repeat guest. He sought out, found, and restored more significant Corvettes than anybody else in the entire Corvette community. His book called The Corvette Hunter chronicles all the famous Corvettes that are in his Corvette universe. He's also celebrating 40 years in business with his world-famous shop, Corvette Repair, in Long Island, New York. His name is Kevin Mackay. Kevin, welcome back to Corvette Today, my friend.
Well, Steve, it's always a pleasure. Always look forward to our conversations.
I do too, buddy. First of all, everybody, let me give you a little Corvette Today history about Kevin Mackay. First of all, Kevin is a master storyteller. He was first on Corvette Today, number 14. We talked about his book, The Corvette Hunter. He was also on episode number 74 when we were talking about the number 1 Le Mans Corvette from 1960. And finally, he was on episode number 174 where he found the number 3 Le Mans Corvette restored it, and brought all three Briggs Cunningham Le Mans Corvettes back together for the very first time in 60 years. That happened in 2023. And today we're going to talk more about his shop and the 40-year celebration of Corvette Repair. First of all, buddy, let's start from the very beginning. When did you realize you were a Corvette guy?
You know, it's funny you mentioned that, Steve. I was probably 7, 8 years old. I was holding my dad's hand crossing the street. And I see this amazing car with these chrome strips on the trunk. I go, Dad, what kind of car is that? He goes, oh, that's a Corvette. And I knew at the time, I didn't know what year it was, Corvette, but I remember vividly in my mind the chrome strips on the trunk area. I said, that's the 58 that I really made an impact on my life as a kid. And I was always into little race cars and tractors and trucks, anything with wheels on it, bicycles and the whole bit. So that always stuck to me. And then later on in life, I said, boy, the more I look at those cars, the more I really appreciate the style, the aggressiveness of the cars itself. So it made a big impact in my life.
Absolutely. So when you started working in the car community, what was your first job?
I went to an automotive school. I took second in class. I just ate it up. I just loved the theory on the mechanics of it. After I graduated from the automotive school, my dad goes, look, if you're going to be a grease monkey mechanic, you better get the benefits. You got to get paid holidays. You got to get vacation time, the whole 9 yards here. So I looked around, and with the assistance of the schooling that I went to, I got a job working at car dealerships. And I worked at 5 different Chevrolet dealerships.
Wow.
Think about this. I mean, working for Chevrolet, you work on Citations and you work on Novas and you work on Impalas and you work on Camaros and Chevelles and you also work on Corvettes.
Yeah.
Corvettes was a treat for me because they were aggressive and they were sporty. And I would go on a road test and people would give me a thumbs up. I remember I do it a camshaft on a 66 white convertible.
Wow.
And I see the girls winking at me. I said, this is my kind of car.
Absolutely. If it gets you girls, that's my car. Now, in 1984, it all started with a dream. Tell me more about that.
Well, I just fell in love with the Corvette. I bought my first Corvette when I was 23 years of age. It was a red Corvette, a 64 convertible. I took my whole life savings of $3,800 out of the bank. And I went there, 2 hours spending. The guy was asking $4,500 for the car. I took all my life savings. I said, that's all I have, sir. He goes, well, I'm sorry. I'm not going to let it go that cheap. And I walked down the driveway and I heard his wife yell out, young man, could you hold on 1 second, please? Honey, can you come in the house for a second? Next thing I hear pots and pans throwing at him and she's screaming at him, will you sell the car to the damn kid? He's taking his whole life savings away. Just get rid of the damn car. You had the car for many, many years. Thank God for the wife. And she came to my house, young man, the car is yours. We'll take what you have.
That's an amazing story.
Brought the car home, drove it home. I took plates off my other car and drove it home. And I put it in the driveway. My parents came out of the house. My father goes, what the hell is this? I said, Dad, it's a Corvette. Where's the trunk? I said, it's a 64. It doesn't have a trunk. It's only got one seat in it. Well, you mean a hot chick? The rest was history. I took over from that and started getting all the car magazines and reading about the history of Corvette. And I just fell in love with it and go to the library because back then there was no internet back then. So everything was just buying Bethew's magazine and some of the other old magazines on the market at the time. And I just kept reading about it, learning the history about them. And I just enjoyed it.
That's awesome. Now, in 1985, you started Corvette Repair in a one-bay garage with a lift, didn't you?
Yes, I did. Every job I've ever had, I got fired from, Steve. I wasn't too good at taking orders too well, and I did my own thing. I saw an old repair place, been there for many, many years. The back of the shop, you can see it was kind of abandoned. They just kept putting parts back there, and I went there one day. I said, I'd like to rent out that rear bay if it's okay. What do you want to do? I just want to work on Corvettes. I worked at 5 different Chevrolet dealerships. I have a little experience, and it would be kind of cool if I could start my little business right out of that one-bay garage. And he said, okay, it's going to be $400 a month. So I kind of calculated in my head, well, $400 a month, not too bad. It's $20 a day. I think I could swing it. And we were on a major road called Sunrise Highway right here in Valley Street, not too far from my parents' house. And I put up a sign, Corvette Repair with an S. Because at the time, I wasn't really incorporated. I was just starting out. I was just trying to get a feel of things. I owned 2 Corvettes at the time. I owned a 64 Corvette convertible and a 65 coupe. And I put them on there and I just put the word repairs on them and they started flocking in. And from the day I opened up that shop, I was always busy.
Fantastic. Now, in 1987, you moved the business into a newly constructed facility. Is that the one you're still in today?
Yes. The building was built in 86. I moved in here in 87. I've been here ever since. Kind of an odd story where one of my clients was in the real estate business and the contracting business. And he said, Kevin, you got something here. Every time I come here, it's a man house here. And I was able, in the one bay, I was able to 3 Corvettes, one left with 3 Corvettes. I would put one car up in the air and a Corvette on each side of it. He goes, I got this piece of property. It's zone industrial right in Valley Stream. It's probably about 8 blocks away. I could build you a shop. I said, what? You can? Well, I think so. I mean, it's zone industrial, but you got to get a loan. I said, okay, because we got to go to the bank and get a loan, and maybe we can work something out. I said, okay. So I go down to the bank. I sit down. I was in my 20s, and they asked, what kind of credit you have? And I take out my wallet. I said, well, I got to see his credit card. The woman looks at me and goes, well, you're bad. I'm not going to cut it. This year's credit cards. We need more than that. I said, well, I'm sorry, but we just can't give you a loan. And I went back to my customer, and I said, Jimmy, I said, look, I really want the property, and I want you to build me something. This is something, a dream come true. He goes, look, I might be out of my mind, Kevin, but guess what? I'll hold the mortgage for you. And that's what happened. So he held the mortgage for me at 13%.
Wow.
$4,000 a month was my mortgage. I had to come up with $1,000 a week for 15 years. And you know something? I was never late on a payment, and I was able to pull it off. I just worked 7 days a week, 14-hour days, whatever it took to keep that shop open. And he built me my dream shop at the time. I kind of outgrew it, but we're still busy. And I'm so fortunate to have a great team behind me, because I've always said this. It's not just one individual. It's all about your team. And I've had some very gifted and craftsmen work for me for many, many years. And to this day, I've been very blessed.
You do have a fantastic team of people working for you. And buddy, like everybody says, the rest is history, isn't it?
It really is. And you know something? What you put into it is what you get out of it. And I like to be treated the way I treat my workers. And that's why we're like family here. I have guys here over 30 years.
That's fantastic. Well, buddy, let's take our first break. When we come back, we're going to talk about some of the famous Corvettes you found and restored. That's coming up next here on Corvette Today.
Wheelcraft's PVD chrome finish in bright chrome or black chrome is the buzz of the Corvette community. But now, Wheelcraft is proud to announce they can now do custom finishes for your OEM wheels, including the bronze wheel color option. And you still get the Wheelcraft 5-year warranty on all wheels. Wheelcraft offers factory wheel exchanges for C4 through C8 Corvettes, or they can apply the PVD chrome finish to your current wheels. Buying a new Corvette? Wheelcraft will work with your Chevrolet dealership to get your PVD chrome wheels there on time. You can drive away with your new wheels already installed. Doing an R8C delivery at the National Corvette Museum? Wheelcraft has partnered with the NCM Motorsports Park to do wheel exchanges once your R8C delivery is completed. You'll drive home from the NCM with your new Wheelcraft wheels. Plus, you still get free lifetime access to the Wheelcraft pit crew. So visit wheelcraft.com or call them at 833-639-4231. Arrive in style with Wheelcraft.
Hey, Corvette lovers, this is Brian Sarr from IntelliSense Family Office. You've formerly known us as True Wealth and Company. First off, a huge congratulations to Steve Garrett on celebrating
6 amazing years of Corvette Today.
We've been proud sponsors every mile of the way. You know the thrill and drive and the pride of ownership, but here's the big question. Do you have the same confidence in managing your wealth? At IntelliSense Family Office, we specialize in helping high net worth individuals like you protect, grow, and enjoy their wealth. Whether you're a successful entrepreneur, a professional athlete, or someone who's worked hard to achieve your financial goals, we've got you covered with personalized expert advice. We understand the unique challenges you face and the dreams you have for the future. From advanced tax planning to succession planning, we provide comprehensive services tailored to your needs. Our goal? To give you peace of mind so you can focus on what you love. Ready to take your financial management to the next level? Visit IntelliSense.com or reach out to us today at 913-653-8783. Let's drive your financial success together. I'm Brian Sarf, and I look forward to helping you live the dream. Save the wave and see you on the road. Investment advisory services offered through IntelliSense Investment Solutions Incorporated, an SEC registered investment advisor.
Rev up your ride with the ultimate upgrade. The Radiator Grill Store is your go-to destination for top-notch C8 Corvette Stingray, Z06, and E-Ray accessories. Elevate your style with custom-painted engine bay covers, sleek front splitters, and side skirts that scream sophistication. Keep your C8 protected with premium Radiator Grill screens. Stand out from the crowd at car shows and beyond. Use code CT10 for an exclusive 10% discount off your total purchase at radiatorgrillstore.com. Don't miss out on turning heads. Upgrade your Corvette today.
Stretch the life of your Corvette's paint with Nova Stretch, the performance protective cover. From bugs to rock chips, Nova Stretch covers protect your Corvette, utilizing stretch fabric technology and an innovative fastening system for quick installation and easy removal and storage. Made in the USA for a tailored fit, the patented design and breathable mesh protects your Corvette without rubbing or chafing the paint like traditional covers. And unlike clear film or old-time car bras, NovaStretch provides full front-end coverage including the grille, keeping radiators and heat exchangers clean and debris-free. Visit novastretch.com and use the code Corvette Today 15 to get 15% off your order. Protect your Corvette with NovaStretch.
I'm Harlan Charles, and you're listening and watching Corvette Today with Steve Garrett.
Thanks for checking out Corvette Today on podcast and YouTube. It's the only current podcast dedicated to Corvette. Corvette Today is brought to you by Wheelcraft. Wheelcraft carries all the latest factory wheel designs for the C8 Stingray, Z06, and E-Ray, and popular wheel designs from the previous generations. Along with bright chrome and black chrome, Wheelcraft now carries bronze and custom colors at half the cost of OEM. So visit wheelcraft.com today or just give them a call, 833-639-4231. I'm your host, Steve Garrett. With me is my buddy, Kevin Mackay. We are celebrating 40 years of his world-famous shop, Corvette Repair, in Long Island, New York. Kevin, you're famously known as the Corvette Hunter. Let's list out a few of the monumental Corvettes that you found and restored.
Oh, there's a long list, Steve. On top of my head, basically, of course, probably one of the most famous cars, car number 3 and car number 1, Briggs Gun Handle Le Mans Corvette. I've survived, believe it or not. And I think I told you a while back that I just rode to Le Mans, and I was able to get the holy grail of VIN numbers of Corvettes that race at Le Mans, and I just went shopping. Most of the cars that people had in their collection or in their garage had no idea what they were.
Yeah.
So I had an advantage because I knew the history of the cars. People that had these cars probably bought them as a street car. And that's what happened. Most of these race cars were converted back to street. So I've just been fortunate to get those cars. The Rebel car, we found it in a junkyard. Bought it for $7,000. The car sold in 2014 at Barrett Jackson for $2.68 million, which is the record. A factory ZL1 that we did for $3,140,000, believe it or not.
Wow.
A couple years ago. So it's been a great ride. We did a 56 Sebring car, 57 Sebring car, a couple of motion cars, a Phase 3, a Phase 3 GT. We worked on the 62, the only 62 Corvette that went to Le Mans. Worked on one of only 2 built high-fin SR2s that went to Sebring in 1958. It's car number 3. The number 48, 49, and 50 cars we worked on, the BFG cars, did restorations on those. Number 4, Rebel Le Mans car, the Serve 2, XP819, which is a permanent display at the National Corvette Museum. The Owens Corning Corvette, that was also one of the winningest Corvettes ever in history. The Sunray DX cars we worked on. The class winner car, 1968, car number 3. We also worked on car number 2. We also worked on the Gulf Oil car. That was also a Sebring Daytona class winner. Also worked on a 1 of 1, the Pininfarina Rodin Corvette. We worked on a couple of styling cars. I worked on a 3 or 4, maybe 5 factory 67 LE8s as well. We've been fortunate. It just keeps going on.
It does keep going on, and you have been fortunate, my friend. Also, let's talk a little bit more about the see-through Corvettes, the famous 53 Corvette cutaway car that's on display at the National Corvette Museum.
Well, that's a great story. I remember looking at that chassis back in 1982 at the Insurance National Regional Meet down in Cypress Gardens, Florida, and I had a big sign on it, believe it or not, 003, the world's oldest production chassis in existence. And I followed that car, and then the chassis vanished. I saw it on eBay for sale. I said, I don't believe that chassis is for sale. It was a rolling chassis. I said, boy, that would make a great display, maybe building either a drivable chassis, which we've done, or some kind of suspended body exhibit. We've also put chassis sideways, a sideways display. So I said, I have a real good friend of mine named Ed Force, who was a big collector. Most of his cars in his collection, he had about 46 cars, Corvettes. Most of his cars were 10,000 original miles, but we did quite a bit of work for him over the years. And I called him. I said, Ed, I got this oldest production chassis on eBay. It's advertised for sale. We could build something crazy. He goes, you know something, Kevin? Give me the item number. I give him the item number. He works out a deal with the owner of the car, who was an attorney, actually. Buys the chassis, brings it here, and I go, Ed, what do you want to do? He goes, it's up to you. I could do a drivable chassis. Yeah, we've done that before. We could put a chassis on its side, display that. I call it a sideways Corvette. He goes, yeah, that is pretty cool. You've done that for me already. Well, we could do a cutaway car. Which side is the VIN number? I said, well, the side of the VIN number is on the driver's side. He goes, let's do a cutaway car, and let's keep the driver's side open so they can see the VIN number. I said, that's great. So we got a donor body, a 1954 Corvette donor body, and we designed it on a couple of pieces of loose leaf paper. It was about 5,000 man hours. 2 years later, we put it all together, and the car was a tremendous hit. This is a drivable cutaway car. Everything was functional on the car, and it was just a great educational display. But I just love people taking photographs and taking notes and just learning what the inner workings of an early Corvette was. And knowing this was the actual oldest production Corvette chassis in existence, which I believe it still is, it was just really cool. We campaigned that car everywhere. Ed did a great job preserving history. And he donated to the National Corvette Museum, which is a permanent display there for the rest of its time there.
That's fantastic.
I'm thrilled. Every time I go there, I just pinch myself. I'm just so proud of that being there. What's nice about that, they even have all the restoration photographs that I gave to them, step by step, how it started from the very beginning to the very end, how it was built.
That's cool.
I guess a PowerPoint presentation they did. That was really fun. I was really taken back by that. But they asked me, Kevin, we'd like to get some photographs of the restoration, so I'll give you the whole file. And they just took it and ran with it, which is wonderful. But what we're going to do in the future here, at Force, we did another C2 see-through Corvette VIN. So our plan is, hopefully in the near future, if the Force family allows it, I've been dealing with their son, Matt, have the C1, C2, and C3 cutaway cars all together.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
I know that Chevrolet has a C8 cutaway car, and we'll put that in there too. It'd be great to have all these educational displays and the inner workings of different technology in different years. What's this all about? We're talking about an education, it'd just be mind-blowing to me.
That's fantastic. And you know what? I would be remiss if we didn't tell the story about the 1960 number 3 Corvette from Briggs Cunningham and Chip Miller. That's a fantastic story.
Well, Chip and I were best of friends for many, many years. We had a lot in common. And we talked every day, sometimes 2-3 times a day. And we traveled together. We went camping together. We went to the movies together. God knows how many times we went out to dinner and breakfast and lunch. And we just had just a wonderful relationship. I got real close with him because Lance, his son, was in college. So he took me under his wing. I even had Chip's wife, Judy, do my laundry for me.
Wow.
It was great. We had a lot of fun. It was just a wonderful family, an amazing event, Carlisle events. I haven't missed the Corvettes at Carlisle. Well, I think it first came in 1982, and I've been there ever since. I just love it, and I love the people, and I just love looking at old parts. But to get back to your point here, we talked about this where I wrote to Le Mans, and I was able to get the holy grail of VIN numbers of all the Corvettes that raced Le Mans, and so we went shopping. And the car was originally going to be for me, but Chip, the way he was such a gentleman, and he didn't have a bad bone in his body. He says, Kevin, if you ever decide that you would give up that car, that's my all-time favorite car. He goes, matter of fact, I graduated high school in 1960. I remember that car went over to Le Mans. I'd really like to have that car if you ever got it. And I said, you know something, Chip? We're best of friends. There's another car I'm going after. I can't own them all. Half the fun is the hunt and the chase. We know where the car was, but the guy just didn't want to sell at the time. I said, you know something? I'm going to get you the number 3 Briggs Cunningham Le Mans Corvette, and I'm going to go after that Roger Penske number 9 Corvette. That's what I want him in my collection. And it worked out where we got him the Cunningham number 3 car. I got the Penske car, and we showed them together, and we just had a blast doing it. That car is owned now by the Irwin Croy Collection, who has that car, and it could go to a better home. He's taking great care of it. We normally show that car, and we show the number 1 car together quite a few times. We went out to Monterey when they had the celebration of Chevrolet's 75th anniversary, and that was a lot of fun. We're going to keep plugging away on those cars here, but reuniting the original drivers of the car, because we were in the middle of a restoration back in 2001 when Chip finally got the car. We did a birthday celebration, his 58th birthday, and we had Bob Grossman and John Fitch here at the shop looking at the car to make sure it was the number 3 car, which it turned out to be.
That's fantastic. And that number 3 Cunningham Corvette went back to Le Mans to celebrate the 50th anniversary with Lance Miller, too. That's a great story in and of itself.
Well, Chip, his dream was supposed to go there together with both drivers and have Bob and John drive that car around the track for the 50th anniversary because they were there from 1960. And here it is, 2010. And that was our plan. Of course, Bob Grossman passed away just before we finished the car. And of course, Chip, we know that story. He got gravely ill and he passed away. But before he passed away, he told his son, promise me you'll take that car back to Le Mans. Promise me. And of course, Lance did exactly what he promised his dad. Dad, I will take it back over to Le Mans. I'll give you my word. And the rest is history. So knowing that John Fitch, here he is, 92 years old, going around that track where he was 50 years prior is truly amazing with that car. It really was.
It really was. He was treated like a rock star too, wasn't he?
Oh, they were singing. That guy signed autographs. He couldn't be any more of a humble gentleman. He's like his naps during the day. John was just an incredible human being, and what a hero he was. I mean, he was shot down in a plane and hid for a couple of days. At the end, it was the end of the war in 1945, and he survived. He was very lucky, and he was also engaged to one of the Kennedys. I think I told you this. He was engaged to Kathleen Kennedy. He used to play football with John and Ted and Robert, and he said, Kevin, the mother loved me. I said, what happened? Because, man, she was high maintenance, so I couldn't afford her anymore. And that was it. I'd go on the sailboat with them. I played football with them up there in Boston area. He goes, oh, yeah, it was a great family to know. So John just had all these amazing stories about his life. He lived a great life. He lived until he was, in his 90s. It's just amazing.
That is amazing. Well, buddy, let's take our final break. When we come back, we're going to talk about more career highlights for you with Kevin Mackay here on Corvette Today.
Are you ready for a better insurance policy without the Corvette tax? With Agreed Value Protection, the value of your collector vehicle will never change. Plus, you'll save money. Get a quick quote at ncminsurance.com.
The National Corvette Restorer Society is a proud sponsor of Corvette Today. Are you already an NCRS member? If not, you should consider joining, and here's why. The NCRS means community. We're a community of individuals who love the Corvette hobby and enjoy the fellowship that NCRS provides. We have NCRS chapters throughout the U.S. and Canada where members can meet monthly and share in the enjoyment of the Corvette with like-minded people. NCRS means excellence. NCRS trains some of the best and most educated judges and informed owners in the car collector world. NCRS means inclusion. Owners of both classic and new Corvettes are welcome. We offer flight and concourse judging for 53 through 07 model years and sportsman awards for Corvettes ranging from 53 through 2025. NCRS means leadership. With over 10,000 members, NCRS researches, writes, publishes, and distributes tech manuals and judging guides for the 53 through 07 Corvettes. No other Corvette organization does this, and they're available for purchase. Members also receive the bi-monthly and award-winning Restore magazine and Driveline magazine throughout the year. We also host an extensive technical discussion board at ncrs.org. Finally, NCRS means value. Many of our prestigious awards can and often do increase the value of the cars that achieve our awards. Whether you own a 53 Corvette or the latest 25 model, the NCRS has a place for you. Check us out at ncrs.org.
When you want to buy a Corvette, or any Chevrolet for that matter, get yours from Hendrick Chevrolet Shawnee Mission, located in Kansas City. Hendrick Chevrolet is the largest Corvette dealership and showroom in the Midwest. With a knowledgeable sales staff and Corvette sales specialists on hand, they'll help you build the Corvette of your dreams, and they ship nationwide. With Corvette certified master mechanics on site and a huge parts department with over 24,000 parts and $2 million in inventory, Hendrick Chevrolet is well equipped to take care of your every need. From sales to service to collision repair, Hendrick Chevrolet has you covered. Visit ChevyUSA.com or call 913-384-1550.
Hi, I'm Mark Falter, host of the Retirement Income Hour podcast and Corvette enthusiast. I know when I bought my Z06, I was thinking two things. These cars are fantastically fast, and wow, are they expensive. Owning a Corvette isn't just about driving fast. It's about living life in the fast lane. But are your finances keeping up? On my podcast, I'll make wealth management as smooth as your Corvette on the open road. Whether it's planning your retirement, building your investments, or how in the heck do I get my retirement accounts to pay for this Corvette, I have got you covered. Search the Retirement Income Hour podcast wherever you find your podcasts, and let's shift your finances into overdrive. I'll see you on the open road financially and literally.
Investment advisory services offered through Mid-American Wealth Advisory Group, an SEC-registered investment advisory firm.
Hi, this is Kirk Benyon, and you're listening and watching Corvette Today with Steve Garrett.
Hey, thanks for listening and watching Corvette Today, the show that talks about everything Corvette. Corvette Today is brought to you by Wheelcraft. Wheelcraft carries all the latest factory wheel designs for the C8 Stingray, Z06, and E-Ray, and popular wheel designs from previous generations. Along with bright chrome and black chrome, Wheelcraft now offers bronze and custom colors at half the cost of OEM. So visit wheelcraft.com today or just give them a call, 833-639-4231. I'm your host, Steve Garrett. With me is my buddy, Kevin Mackay. Kevin has been in business for 40 years on Long Island, New York in Valley Stream, and he has got Corvette Repair. We are celebrating 40 years at Corvette Repair. Kevin, you've been nominated for the Corvette Hall of Fame multiple times, and in 2012, you were also inducted into the Bloomington Great Hall. Tell me that story about Bloomington.
I was really very blessed. It's nothing better than your peers vote you in. I just love what I do, Steve. That's always been my focus. I just love the people. I love the history. I love the challenge. I just love hunting down these cars that might have been gone forever. Whether I found them in junkyards or barns or behind someone's house. I just love that whole thing. And knowing that I was considered and then I got inducted into the Great Hall, it's just been a dream come true for me. My family was proud of me and all that sacrifice I did and hard work over the years, working those 14-hour days, 6-7 days a week. It really, really paid off. And it's nothing better than to be recognized for what you work so hard for. But remember, it's more of a passion and a drive and a love of what I love to do. It's been my whole life.
Yeah.
I mean, Steve, I didn't get married until I was 50 years old for a reason.
Wow.
I missed out raising a family. I just couldn't wait to go to another show and see a lot of my friends and hunt down another rare car or finishing a really special car with great history. And here I'm going to debut it for the first time. It was really my life. I'm going to continue on. And when I got married, I told my wife, I said, honey, I love you for who you are and I hope you love me for who I am, but I'm not going to change you. I'm in my 50s. It's going to be pretty tough to change me. And she supports me. She's been terrific. I'm a little bit stubborn. I'm always on a mission. It's been great. But yes, unfortunate. And I know I've been considered for the Hall of Fame multiple times. I'm very blessed about that too. And I've been there from the very beginning. I'm one of the original founding members of the National Corvette Museum before they even had the museum. I had cars in the Corvette Annex. I helped out with the suspended body exhibit at the Corvette Museum back in '94. I went down there a week before, set it all up. I had the Rebel Corvette there. It was one of the first cars I got into the National Corvette Museum back in 1994. And I think I had 6 or 7 cars there now on display today, besides the number 3 cutaway car and my 69 see-through car. And I have a couple of race cars there over the years. The XP819 car is another permanent display there, which is great. And a client of mine donated it to the National Corvette Museum. So I've been very, very involved with it. I mean, I worked with Dan Gale, who is the head man. I've also worked with a guy named Ray Battellini, who's still involved, also in the Hall of Fame in that museum. I worked with him back in the early 90s. It's just been a great ride. We had drivable chassis there, suspended body exhibits there, and everything else, but it's been great.
You deserve to be in the Corvette Hall of Fame at the National Corvette Museum. That's for sure, buddy.
That's okay. I mean, I'm not going to change my life. I'm going to continue what I love to do and just go to events and have fun.
Yeah. Now, in segment number 2, we talked about the number 3 Cunningham Corvette, but you also found the number 1 Cunningham Corvette and restored it. Now, Bruce Meyer from the Peterson Automotive Museum in Los Angeles owns car number 2, which is on display there at the Peterson. But in 2023, you brought all 3 Cunningham Corvettes back together after being apart for 60 years. Tell that story of how you found that number 1 car, restored it, and then brought all 3 back together.
Well, Steve, that was 63 years in the making. And Bruce Myers got that car through my connection because Bruce heard through the grapevine that when I knew where the number 3 car was, he wanted to purchase that car. And I said, look, I promised a mutual friend of ours named Chip Miller. Oh, Chip's such a wonderful guy. I said, I know. I already promised that car to him. He goes, well, I want to get a car with Hallett brand wheels on it. And I want to get a car that went a race at Le Mans. I said, well, the only other car at the time has been located was found by Michael Pillsbury, who is no longer with us anymore. The family sold out to 2 brothers up in Connecticut. And that was the number 2 car. And I was able to get Bruce and the 2 brothers together, and they worked out their own deal, and they got the number 2 car together, which is great. So the only car left to find was the number 1 car. It took me 19 years to get that car. That car just kind of fell in our lap. When I was getting inducted into the Great Hall at Bloomington, Lance Miller gets a call from a gentleman up in Connecticut. He said, hey, you're not going to believe this. I just got a call from a guy down near Tampa area that he claims he just found the number 1 car. He said he lifted the body off to look at the numbers on the chassis, and it had VIN number 3535. And he went on Google search, came up the Cunningham website, and that was the missing number 1 car.
Wow.
I'm about to get inducted. Lance calls me. I goes, you're not going to believe us. They found the number 1 car. I said, what are you talking about? I said, no, Lance, I know you like to kid with me and play with me all the time. Listen to me. This is my big moment. Let's talk about this later. He goes, no, I'm not joking around. And sure enough, he wasn't joking around. When I got back from Bloomington, I checked my email and I knew instantly it was the number 1 car because the photographs I got from the gentleman down in Tampa had the wiper hole still in the car, which they moved it from the outboard into the middle of the body. That was Cunningham's trademark. So I knew it in probably half a second that was the missing Cunningham car. Eventually, I was able to get it. Went through a legal battle, which is behind us. The car went for a public auction, and the Cunningham family bought the car back. I approached the Cunningham family at the National Corvette Museum. They were there because Briggs Cunningham was getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. And I went up to the family and I said, by the way, I know where the number one car is, which actually that Briggs personally drove himself at Le Mans in 1960.
Wow.
Took my card and they called me a couple months later and they said, Mr. Mackay, we did a little background check on you and we know you're for real. We have a great interest to get that car back with the family. Now, of course, the rest is history. They got the car, purchased it at auction, sent it directly to us, and we did a complete restoration because the car was really a train wreck, Steve. It was pretty bad. We saw the photographs of it online. We brought it back to life, and we came up with an idea. We debuted at the Ritz-Carlton down in Milling Island. We got hold of Mr. Myers, and we had all three cars together. We watched the movie, The Quest, which is an amazing movie. If you haven't seen that movie, I highly recommend it. It talks about the history of the Cunningham race effort at Le Mans in 1960 and having all three cars together. But what was really neat about it, I had to get permission from the family. I made up a custom-made mask of Briggs Cunningham. And at the end of the movie, I sat in the car with a car cover over me. And when I unveiled the cover, I'm looking right at the daughter who's like 78 years old, the baby daughter, Briggs Cunningham, and she's looking right at me. And for a split couple of seconds, she thought she was actually looking at her father behind the wheel of the car.
That's fantastic. I was down there with you at Amelia Island there, and it was a fantastic event.
With that crazy or what? And I was wearing John Fisher's original uniform. They raced at Le Mans.
Oh, my gosh.
To bar that, just for that. But people were at all, then they were clapping. It was just a highlight of my life, believe me, doing that. But I had to get permission from the family. They had that made because, look, whatever you do, don't tell your mother. Of course, the grandson, her son, just said, we got to do this, Kevin. And we did it.
It was fantastic. Now, buddy, you've put out a book called The Corvette Hunter. Talk a little bit more about the book and where you can still purchase it.
Well, the book is sold out, but I have probably a couple of cases left. It's sold out within a year. You can buy it on my website, which is CorvetteRepair.com, and I'll be glad to sign it for you. And it's just some of the cars that we hunted down and restored and some great stories. You know, Steve, I only have a high school education. I was a pretty good athlete, but I was a lousy student. My fortune was working with my hands, putting gadgets together. That was my thing. I'm not the kind of guy to go behind a desk. I was the kind of guy that would be underneath the car, working on something. Anything mechanically, I always love. I love putting models together. I never had the directions. I just looked at something, figured it out on my own. And I made my mistakes along the way like everybody else has, but you learn from your mistakes and then you improve as you go along. It's just been an amazing ride for me because I know where I started. I haven't changed a bit. I'm very fortunate that we've been so recognized in this hobby. Just about passion and just loving the history and loving the people. And as long as I got my health, Steve, I'm going to keep on plugging away here. I still work my 14-hour days, coming here at 5:30 a.m. in the morning and leaving here at 8:30, 9 o'clock at night.
Wow, that's amazing, buddy. You've been doing it for a long time, too. Let's talk about some of the accolades that you've got, because you've got achievement awards, magazine covers, sports car market awards, all those kind of things, too.
We're in over maybe 120 cover cars that we worked on along the way. I didn't realize that we were on that many covers, but I started putting them all together here, and I put it like a little collage of all the magazine covers that we made. It's amazing how these cars could have been gone forever. Like guys like me made an effort to find some of these amazing cars with great history and preserve the history and just tell the story, bringing people together and bringing the old timers together. And a lot of these old time racers I became great friends with, spend the weekend with them. I just love the history. The history has to be told because we're not going to be here forever, Steve. So as long as I can preserve the history and tell the story, that's what it's all about with me. I would keep on going. There's a couple other cars I want to go after. I found them, but I can't tell them who I am because they'll do a Google search on me and then I'll find out I'm going to lose that car.
Yeah. Tell me what you're working on now, and if someone wants to reach out to you, how can they get a hold of you?
Well, we got some special cars in our shop. We've always had some special cars in the shop here. We have the 100th Corvette ever made, 1953, serial number 100. We're doing a nut and bolt restoration on that car. It's going to be a pretty boy. We also have another car that's one of one. It's a tuxedo black, silver leather headrest, 66 4.25 car. Most people say that doesn't exist. Well, we're showing it this weekend, actually. We're going to an NCRS meet, and then we're going to bring Bloomington to show it, to go for the gold. We also have the only 68 factory LED9 car, black with red interior, convertible. No one's ever seen one. Well documented. We also have here a 24,000-mile black on black side pipe 435 car, Survivor car the guy had for 50 years. I just bought that car a couple of years ago, and we're going to show that these next couple of weeks. Also, we have a Z06 tanker that came out of Yanko Chevrolet. We have another 66 4.25 tanker the guy had for 53 years. We have also a 69 factory side pipe LDA car that we're working on right now. Get that car ready for Bloomington. So that's some of the projects that we have here. So we're staying pretty busy.
Yeah, you are. If someone wants to reach out to you there at Corvette Repair, how can they do that, Kevin?
Very, very simple here. Just go right to my website, CorvetteRepair.com, and throw an email at me, and I'll respond usually within 24 hours.
That's awesome. Buddy, thank you so much for being back on Corvette Today. Congratulations on 40 years of Corvette Repair. I appreciate you, your family, buddy.
Steve, it's been great. And I'll tell you, you're knocking it out of the park too, my friend. You work your tail off. You deserve it. What you put into is what you get out of it. And I'm really proud of you too. I remember when you had one segment. Now you have what, 280? I don't even know. I lost count here, Steve. But you just keep doing what you're doing because we're going to rock this hobby. So that's what I want to do. All right. Be well, my friend. Okay?
Absolutely, buddy. Thanks again for listening and watching Corvette Today. And be sure to tell your family, friends, and other Corvette enthusiasts about the Corvette Today show. And thanks to our sponsors, Wheelcraft. Want to dress up your Corvette with bright chrome or black chrome wheels? Visit wheelcraft.com to learn about their advanced PVD chrome finishing. They can refinish your wheels or offer a wheel exchange for most models, and it comes with a 5-year warranty. Visit wheelcraft.com today or call 833-639-4231. Soul Performance Products at SOULPP.com, the official performance exhaust of Corvette Today. Sioka Corvette at CIOCCA Corvette.com. E5 Wheels at E5Wheels.com. IntelliSense at IntelliSense.com. Also, Aerolarri Wheels. Get $100 off your purchase with the promo code CT111 at Aerolarri.com. Mark Falter with the Retirement Income Hour podcast. And Hendrick Chevrolet in Kansas City at ChevyUSA.com.
Thanks for checking out Corvette Today on podcast and YouTube. If you'd like to contact Steve with ideas for Corvette Today, you can email him at stevegarrettdj@gmail.com. Garrett has 2 R's and 2 T's. That's stevegarrettdj@gmail.com. Also, sign up for email notifications at corvettetoday.ck.page. Follow Steve and the show on social media on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Threads at Steve Garrett DJ. Thanks again for listening and watching Corvette Today.